we at Adani have been such a fast-growing organization, which pretty much everyone knows now. In the last 20 odd years, we have grown at unparalleled pace and into businesses and at scales which are unimaginable, even to me. I do come from a management consulting background. Prior to here, I was with a Big Four management consulting firm in the US, and this is my fortune and my opportunity, first time opportunity to work with a promoter driven organization, and an organization like this, which when you interact with the promoters and work with them, you realize that this organization is a organization which is in a constant entrepreneurship mode. So constantly innovating, constantly growing, finding opportunities, converting challenges into opportunities. And that's what I think is a key ingredient of an entrepreneur. And so it is quite befitting that we at Adani have recently started this International Innovation Hub, where we help support innovation and entrepreneurship among students, scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs, so that they can build ideas with mentorship and support from the businesses, and have and provide them a big pool of businesses where they can get opportunities to build their enterprises, whether be it in logistics or transportation, whether it be in power, any of the renewable energy businesses, or whether it is data center business, which I'm part of at Adani as well. So I think what we have created is a platform where we get the entrepreneurs to not only bring their idea, but have it crossed, fertilized, or examined or supported by mentors who have been in the domains, and with tremendous support from iHub and many other organizations, SSIP, we have been able to support quite a few entrepreneurs in their journey, and hopefully, they are able to create high business impact for what they are doing.
Wonderful. So now I will move on to our dear friend and mentor, Pawan Bhai.
Thank you, Hiranmay Bhai, for the wonderful introduction. We as the Bakeri Group, we are one of the oldest developers in the country and the oldest in India. We are more than 62 years old in this line. And then we have also had diversifications into other businesses, including the cooling business and textiles and others. As part of my journey, I began actually my career, I would say, sort of an inflection point in my journey when I entered MIT in Boston, Massachusetts for my engineering degree. And I think being in a place like MIT, which is a hotbed of innovation, when it has always been in the 20th century, it continues to be in the 21st century, really opens one's minds to the possibilities of science and technology, and to the possibilities of what innovation can bring, the wealth it can generate, and the lives it can improve. For the moon landing in 1969, most of the research on controls was thanks to innovations and developments in technology at MIT. And I think that is the kind of spirit that I have endeavored to bring to whatever I have chosen to do in the course of my last 20 odd years, and particularly in the ecosystem of Gujarat, in the innovation ecosystem of Gujarat. Gujarat typically is not considered to be a hotbed of innovation. Yes, everyone, when one thinks of business, we think of Gujaratis, but we are not necessarily we have had trading mindset and risk-taking mindset, but not for innovation. So when it comes to innovation, we still have an uphill struggle. But of course, things have rapidly changed in the last 20 years. The state government has made particularly, rapid giant efforts to inculcate an innovative mindset amongst our youth, and also generously given of its resources. So I think the journey is well in its, it's well begun. It is firmly in place. And as part of CSR, I think that one role that industry can play in helping entrepreneurs engage in social enterprises is, of course, by funding, but I think more important is to help them reach out, including in terms of marketing, including in terms of helping them improve their products and identify pain points which they did not have thought of. So I think these are some factors that entrepreneurs, established entrepreneurs, can help, especially in the field of social entrepreneurship, because most of the social entrepreneurs, they may not necessarily have a diverse background, and I think or may not even have the wherewithals to develop a diverse team. I think that is where industry can plug their gaps. So yes, I'm very happy to be part of this initiative today, and to be part of the Just Startup and Innovation Hub activities. So thank you very much, and we will take. I guess we can discuss more during the Q&A.
Sure, wonderful. In fact, Pawan Bhai and Pankaj, what is loud and clear from both of you is everybody has a role to play in the ecosystem, and public system or government has to play a role of enabler, and stakeholders like industry and others can also have a driving role in terms of creating a win-win situation. For example, like Pankaj mentioned, the day before only, I got an mail from one startup founded by Roshan Rawal. He was a final year student at LD Engineering College. He was working into augmented reality and was trying to solve industries who are working on remote applications and other areas. And he was a student. He approached to us, and later on I connected him to some of the subordinates of Pankaj at Adani Group. And I was literally not sure whether a big conglomerate will even give audience to such kind of an early boy who is 21-year-old and having a business plan in his eyes. But what was heartening to see Pankaj Bhai and Pawanji is within a span of 3 months, he was given access not only to visit those units within the group in the industry, but also to see how he can pilot. And a couple of days before, he got contract from the corporate to pilot, in fact, at different ports in Adani. And this boy calls me up, he's barely 21, 22, and he says that, sir, probably if he could have been got $1 million investment, that could have been given me that much of confidence than this opportunity to do work with a conglomerate and co-design solution between these two. So I think and somebody told me a couple of days before very nicely that if you get investment, you dilute your equity. You commit somebody to give more. If you get customers or design solutions, you actually value your products. You actually get a valuation up. So I think co-designing solution with corporates, ensuring that you solve some of their problem and solve their needs is much more valued than only getting verbal investment. And that's going to be very interesting. So I'll come back to both of you. Nitin, quickly, could you take through your efforts and what you guys are doing?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you, Hiranmai, especially I hope, for such a very good, important and need a platform of this webinar today. Hiranmai, I'll go with some slides so that the continuation will be okay. And this iHub is a platform, where the win-win platform providing to the startups and corporates. So I expect that iHub will be having a very great role later. Let me share some views that I was expecting and that preparing myself. Yeah, so friends, recently our Honorable Prime Minister mentioned what about self-sustainable mode of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And for the corporates, yes, these 5 pillars looking to the sustainable, social sustainability is very important for each corporates, for each coming corporate that we call as a startup, starting from economy, infrastructure, system, demography, or demand. In each pillar, the main role, the important role that's really of with the corporates who can stand by with all together with the nation. Friends, let me share what exactly a sustainable development goal that is designed for 2030. And all corporates, we always link our CSR policy or our objectives with the SDG 2030. If you look all 17 goals that are mentioned and that are designed for next 2030, if you see goal number 8, 9, and 12, little bit are kind of outcome for corporates that we all working for a decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure. That is a goal number 9. Goal number 12 say about responsible consumption and production. So this is the outcome what our efforts are being in innovation and entrepreneurship or a startup, we can say. Uh, these all we are working to bring zero poverty, gender equality, and reduce inequality. So these are the audience where we are targeting, and these are the outcomes that we are expecting from the CSR, whatever works we are doing. So today's webinar basically having topic like how we can bring together startups as well as corporates. So friends, there is a good level of convergence between corporates and startups. What in Nesco Foundation also we are expecting a very good innovation that is relevant to our industry. Like Nesco having a diversified group of companies where a Bombay Exhibition Center we are having in Bombay, that is India's largest exhibition center in Western Expressway. So we have opened this center in as a COVID for as a shelter home. So all this kind of CSR immediate action that we all are putting. If you look, sourcing of the product, whatever startups are doing a very good products or whatever they are innovating, we can source this product as a corporates, and definitely that would be a great convergence. Second is establishing a separate innovation entity working closely with startup. Startup, they have a very good idea where our fit, if it is fit to our mission and vision, definitely that would be great innovation entity working together. We can also create a co-creation model. Startup has an idea, a company may have a problem. So we can link this problem with the solution. That would be great cohesion between startup and corporates. Startup co-creation where we are facilitating startups to work with a company to jointly create a specific solution to the company needs. Applied research, lot of research are on that would be benefited for corporates. Why I'm talking about what is the synergetic aspects that we can bring together for this innovation kind of per se. New tech seeding. The role of corporates or CSR is to germinate good seeds in the way of good startup. So that is also good convergence. There is obviously, when I mentioned there is a win-win platform, I hope can be a good platform where startups and corporates come bring together. There are benefits for startup. Obviously, there are multiple benefits for corporate also. That is there. But main thing that is you can get a ready-made retail chain for startups. You are getting a ready-made platform where you can put your innovation. While the corporates definitely, you are getting the innovation where the lot of R&D, lot of mathabanji bahut kiya hai. So that is you are getting ready-made. So there is a win-win situation between both of them. We have a very good example where the funding of corporate, like we say CSR, as per 135 section, a lot of CSR now have started the incubation center. For an example, Nesco, we have established section 8 company, and with the main object of incubation and innovation startup support, we have started this incubation center within our CSR mandate. So earlier it was that you can support to the incubation center which is based within the campus education institute, but now it is not there. You can have your own, you can support startups with your own. Friends, if we look this scenario right now, COVID-19, a lot of we cannot seek in it. We cannot say seek, but yes, because of some problems, many industry might have a suffering. They have a problem. Other side, the startup have a solution. So this is the right time to get, get linked and work better together. Uh, Actually, there are a lot of emerging sector where we can focus. Very many corporates, they are looking for good startup, educational techno, because tech startups have very good, emerging sector that is very good platform. Obviously, e-retail, we have to maintain the quorum of social distance. So a lot of new things will be emerged where we can have a synergy. Obviously, banking, social enterprises, medical and health, IT, these are the emerging sector. Post-COVID. We cannot say post-COVID, but yes, after the scenario, these are the new emerging sector where a lot of industry will get interested. If you see, some good opportunity for startup, because this is my experience in the industry also. Now, recently, be a vocal for local. If we focus on this local, don't go for branding from outside, but yes, take some good startup which are having base in local, idea of local, then we can make a good synergy together. Enable complete manufacture rather than yahin se laya, idhar se laya aur bana diya, aisa nahi. You will have a complete chain, so any industry, any corporate will get interest. Work on advantage like lower labor cost. Labor is the main issue, so every industry is facing. So if a startup gives good idea where the labor cost will be minimized, that is good synergy. Partner with existing seek units. Startups, obviously, it's the right time to search what are the industry doing, where are they, loophole, or why they are seek, or what is the problem. From that problem, definitely we'll have a good linkage. Now, let me introduce what exactly we are doing here, how our CSR, role of CSR in startup ecosystem. As I said, we have established one-stop incubation center here, where we are providing in-house infrastructure, not only infrastructure, funds, and also ventures, which will be benefited to the startups. We are having multiple groups within a NESCO, so NESCO events, NESCO foods, realty, hotels, and Bombay exhibition centers. So all together, if any startups across this area is welcome for association, but any startup without any age bar, we welcome here in our center. We provide not only mentoring. When I said mentoring is not only support, but they need a backbone support, hand holding support. This all is available with us in NESCO. Yeah, Hiranmay, I stop here and we can discuss later.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nitin. You summarized well what you are doing. So we have three use cases. How Adani's team has really done work in taking some of the startups ahead. Pawan Bhai has done it. Now you people are just still doing it. So I will come back to Pawan Bhai. Pawan Bhai, when a startups comes to you and expect that the industry veteran, either you help them to get connected to your business value chain or some kind of support. What is the right stage that you feel a startup should come to you, and what could be the basic offering they should have to offer if they want some benefits from industry houses?
So, Hiranmay, I think there is nothing like the right stage. They are welcome at any stage. Sometimes they come just with an idea or a pitch, a PPT. They just want to validate that idea before they kind of stick their necks out and give precious years of their lives. So I think there's nothing like the any stage is the right stage, because people from industry like us, who have seen the whole gamut of the entire evolution of an enterprise, can be useful or can add value at any stage, of a startup founder's journey. So, I don't think there is a stage.
Okay. So just in extrapolating this dialogue in that sense, you have been, I know personally you have been investing in mentoring some of the very good startups in the ecosystem. And you have also been tooling a lot of other members in the industry fraternity. How is the response from the industry side? You might have talked to your friends, let us get along and help people. How they react and what are their expectations from this?
I think in Gujarat, the challenge is that we don't have large venture capital funds, and private equity players. So it's easy to attract seed level funding, either from incubators like iHub or whoever, there are many, Nesco and others. But the challenge is, and also to find angels. But then when they need pre-Series A, Series A funding, they really need to go out to VC funds and large corporate players. And I think that is where most of our corporates shy away. And also the lack of actually professionally run venture capital funds. Other than GVFL, no major VC fund is headquartered in Gujarat. So I think that's a real challenge. And typically, VCs like to invest in their neck of the woods. So, and that's why actually the startup ecosystem developed, should have developed in New York, where all the capital was, but it developed in Silicon Valley and in around Silicon Valley, because that was where risk taking was, immigration was, entrepreneurship was. So in fact, the large VC firms migrated from New York. A lot of them set up shop in Silicon Valley, and that is how it became what it is over the last 50 years. So I think that is not happening in our neck of the woods in Gujarat. I think so. Once we have a major flow of VC funds, then there's a clear path to startups that yes, we have this funding, and then other things. So I think then the cycle is completed, the loop is completed. So I think that's a challenge. And the other thing is that our corporates, because they are so successful in their own fields, they stick to their knitting. Adani Group is an exception, but most other large corporates focus on what they do best, and they don't divest some of that, some of their investments to other fields, unrelated fields even. So, but I think no field is unrelated. In my own journey, I've also founded and co-founded startups, especially in the fields of technology and machine learning, AI, and UAVs. But I think there's a lot of learning that established businesses can also, do, when they invest in mentors and found startups. So I think it's a two-way street. And once industry realizes that there's a lot to be gained, I think things will become easier. But so far, it's a challenge. It's an uphill task.
Wonderful. In fact, you rightly mentioned that. So there are two ways. One is probably how do our local startups become fund ready so that resources from people can flow in. And second thing is, once ample amount of people are fund ready, then the risk capital will come in. So I think two ways we need to build the ecosystem. We need to have a decent amount of pool of entrepreneurs who could offer value to investors. Because many often investors just cannot do charity. If it is CSR money, that could be a different game. But if it is a hard-earned dollars from your business, then definitely they will look for a return. And then we need high-quality entrepreneurs to kind of do that kind of promising things. You rightly touched upon that. Sooner or later, we need to integrate this value chain at different stages. And that would be important. Pankaj sir, we would like to come back to you because I personally talked to those 5 to 6 startups who got opportunity through you. And most of them are early stage company who had a minimum viable product ready. They just wanted to test and create a use case in a large industry segment. They went to you, they got your time, they got your attention, and now they are getting offer to pilot, and probably tomorrow they will do a business with you. So how do you see, what is your plan, or what is your, maybe the plan might not be on paper, but is there a broad roadmap how you want to work closely with such kind of startups in London?
So Hiranmay, that's such a important thought that you have brought the focus on. Let me just start with saying that as a startup, one should start early, right? And I'm glad that at least now there is a lot of college students who are getting involved in startups, or almost graduating college, they are getting involved in startup. I remember there was a guy in my PhD program at Columbia University in New York. He started a company way back then, and he, as Pavanji was talking about, he had a great idea, and I kind of looked at his idea, and I was excited as well. But when he started speaking to people in New York being the financial capital, they didn't really get the idea. And it was a ed tech, and it was way ahead of time. I'm talking about like 15, 17 years back. It was so much ahead of time that it was so much ahead of time that he could not convince anyone to fund him in the New York area. And eventually, he started making trips to California, Silicon Valley, and he did get the ecosystem over there, and and he was able to cross-pollinate his idea and impress some funding agencies there. And some of you who might be aware, that company became a huge global company later on, Blackboard. But then that technology which he had got disrupted as well later on. That's a different story. But my point is that people need to start as early as possible. And coming back to the example at home at Adani, Gautam Bhai started early. In his life, and many of these people who really become very successful, they have ideas and they grab onto the idea at a very early stage and start building upon that idea, getting support to mentorship to make the idea a better idea and make it refined, make it implementable, and bring it to a stage where it becomes ready for business or a pilot initially. And so that is what we look for at Adani Group, is that you come up with an idea which is related to some of the businesses that we are in, and definitely technology enabled, because we know, without technology, none of our businesses or any business will do as well as they can. So technology enabled, have an idea which is going to withstand the disruptions which is going to come around, and not only just stand the disruption, we want ideas which can be rapid prototyped, right? One should be agile enough to constantly refining and improving upon their idea. So we look for characteristics like these, in entrepreneurs, and we are there to support any entrepreneur who has ideas like this, who is agile, who is ready to leverage technology, and we will provide them the platform. We, as we have been doing. However, we also want to make this a more, we were talking about having a corporate accelerator, and Hiranmay, this is a conversation we have had with the Gujarat government. We figure out a way to set up a corporate accelerator where we can enable some of these businesses to scale up, grow and scale up as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. I think this is very brilliant, and Pavan Bhai will agree on this, that if a dozen corporates or industries or progressive MSMEs per se comes and embrace some kind of mechanism, and this is a confidence booster, because this is how particularly the Canadian ecosystem in the Waterloo-Kitchener region has done. their municipal governments are very proactive in terms of procuring or piloting with startups, and also to help through their enterprise ministry to kind of co-create with entrepreneurs. Recently, McKinsey did a very recent study and found out that industries who are closely working with potential startups who are agile and small are having more number of innovative idea-based new businesses venturing out. And I think that's a very good marriage between a large-scale organization who has resources and a nimble but an agile and lean innovative organization called startup. And this marriage really creates a new pathway of creativity, new pathway of businesses. So Nitin, one question to you from a participant. When you, Priyanka is asking, which type of basic parameters your company look for CSR support to startups?
Yeah, basically, we see 2, 3 things when they're enrolling for our incubation support. One is how they are committed with this idea, because generally what happens, students are coming with the projects which is part of their assignment, or but it is not long-term commitment that they really want to be an entrepreneur. Sometimes they feel that this is innovation and okay, it's a part of my thesis or something. I'll submit and then move away, because I had experience of 2, 3 startup. The idea was very generic and very good, but the thing is, when we ask that was the plan of 5 years and what you see, so what we see in our center, that is how much they are committed or dedicated with the idea for a future perspective, and obviously the problem, because globally they are staring that okay, this problem will be resolved. These are this is a uniqueness, novelty. But the thing is, what are the basic micro analysis they did? So we also ask whether it is required in the market or not, there is a need or not, whether they have approached to some clients, so basic requirement. And third, that is very important, when I said commitment, what is the viability? Because sometimes they have some made copy paste from somewhere, some idea, then getting patent and then giving back to the society like that. But we see first whether the commitment idea is viable or not. Basically these 2, 3 parameters we see, and then we try to make them a zero ground. Then again we are starting the exercise to make a very good proof of concept, and again we are helping how the risk behind this idea is there. So we are providing, and then again we are reviving whether they are comfortable with the idea in future or not.
So Nitin, you also invest in these companies, give some grant?
As a part of CSR, what we plan basically, providing some seed fund to the early stage startup, and with minimum 10 to 20 based on this plan and commitment and the objective of the startup. But now initially we have taken a 5 startup in the first phase, where we'll fully support to the startup for basically not only prototype but the first product that is ready for market, that will support. So we are having the seed fund facility, and we are also planning, our chairman is very keen to launch a venture capital, especially from NESCO, so that support a startup for the long-term investment.
तो आप लोग का कोई सेक्टर बायस है या सेक्टर एग्नोस्टिक हो आप लोग?
नहीं, सेक्टर विषय हमने बेसिकली जेनरिक बनाया, जैसे नेचुरल रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट एक बोला है, जिसमें एनर्जी को भी कवर कर लेते हैं, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, क्लाइमेट चेंज. But basically we are keen for artificial intelligence and robotics, which are very innovative that we wish. And that is agriculture area that we want to highlight, because we have our one division in NESCO. So what we plan, that a division who can invest also in a longer run. So we are having 2 to 3 more sectors. We have not taken, that is a health and other sector that we have not touched. But yes, we are supporting for engineering and technical based startups.
Wonderful. In the interest of the audience, I must say that while the national ecosystem is being developed from public and private sector participation, recently the people realized that a lot of efforts have been done in terms of pre-incubation, ideation, incubation, IP filing and all. But now India is at a cusp of a curve in which taking next step is very important. And recently, the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor to Prime Minister, Dr. Vijay Raghavan, they started a special initiative called Agni, Accelerating Growth of India's New Innovation. And this program primarily aims for looking at startup companies who are ready to deploy, and if possible, predominantly in B2G or business to government segment. And they have got application of around 1,000 entrepreneurs, 1,000 startups. They have selected around 240 odd, and now they are being given financial support from government to pilot with support from public systems. And I'm sure very soon such kind of interface will also come in the private sector, because this is going to create a very win-win situation. We have ready to leverage innovation at the desk, but nobody knows where they are. They're also ready to guide people like Pankajji, like Nitin, and like our Bakeri group. So all the resources are also available, but somehow they won't have access to those kind of ready to leverage entrepreneurs also. So Pavan Bhai, what we are doing now is recently taking clue of this. We are creating a pool of ready to leverage startup list. We are going to share it with all of you, including Adani's and their group and other industries, and also writing the Chamber of Commerce and the industry chambers, because therein we need to play a role. The industry chambers by now have predominantly worked on issues which have been important for them, but now they're also looking, can they play a vital role in terms of helping these innovators and startups, either as a part of their CSR of individual members or some other way. So recently we worked with one Chamber of Commerce in Maharashtra, and this is the first Chamber of Commerce and industry body who created an angel fund within the Chamber of Commerce. And they pulled in from their members from the chambers, from the industry chambers. It was a couple of dozen crores. It was a small fund, but then the idea was, so that was a food cluster in Aurangabad. And if any food startups want to leverage the supply chain, any food startups want to leverage the basic facilities of any existing food company, rather than creating from scratch, they can leverage that. These are innovative ideas. And in India, we have more than 5,000 industry clusters and thousands of progressive industries like you all who actually can play a very vital role. Pavan Bhai, coming back to you, you have mentored a dozen startups yourself and also invested in many. What is your general observation of startups, on startups that you have been associated with in Gujarat? How well they are performing? What is their ethical protocol sanctity? Are they doing proper work? Are they compliance ready? Are they complying to basic guidance reading this?
So I think there are some, in the last few years, I think the quality of startups has increased by an order of magnitude. We really now have started seeing a lot of innovation happening, and also good teams being put together. That being said, I think that there is a general lack of, because once you have an idea, you also need to be able to communicate it to a wider audience, whether it be, the prospective customers or investors, or to the team that you are building. And I think there's one general drawback. I'm not saying it is pervasive, but it is there, which is lack of good communication abilities. I think that is where innovators from Gujarat, young innovators from Gujarat, kind of lack. The other, of course, is the whole idea of innovation itself. I think the parents of young innovators, especially when they're out of college and they put in a year or two, and obviously not all ventures are going to succeed, and not all of them are going to succeed in 1,000 days. It may take a little more time. Very few of them are able to last through those 1,000 days and are able to stick it out because of societal and parental pressures. So I think those are the two constraints that we are looking at. And of course, those people who cross these first hurdles lack access to VC capital. VC capital is important not because of just the amount that they bring in, but I think it's more because of the connects that they have across the world. So I think that is very, 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 very essential. So I think I've seen a lot of good startups fail because of lack of these connects.
Wonderful. In fact, the point that you're highlighting is the connecting interface is something that we need to strengthen more. And you rightly started by commenting that information asymmetry sometimes plays a very critical role. People don't know there might be some people who could be of strategic interest to your business, but then those informations and those validated information, public informations are available sometimes, but validated information to a business leader like you who might have a very busy schedule is very, very important. And that's what probably we are trying to play a role very soon, that we will curate those kind of information, curate those kind of possibilities, and bring onto the table to people like you, so that you can see whether they are going to create value as a part of an industrial CSR or a strategic growth project in your business, and probably we can look taking forward. Pankaj, one question to come. You are leading this new data center business in Adani. If some startups some startups who are working in this, should they write to you or write to your organization?
Absolutely. We are, just a little background upon, data center business. This is a brand new business Adani Group has started. And this is the need of the hour for our country and globally as well. As they say, data is the new oil, and we can draw a lot of insight, do a lot of processing of the data, analytics and insights that can make informed decisions for and investments, and all kinds of business aspects can be taken care of with the help of data. So, we have diversified into a brand new business, the data center business. There's a huge demand in the country right now, and especially with data localization laws coming into place. And we are in the process of formulating. I'm on the task force for the national data center policy as well. And soon there will be some policies within which, the data would be handled in the country, whether stored, processed, or taken out of the country. So given this background, I think this is a business quite needed, is a business of the hour for our country right now. And we are building a 100% renewable data center business, which means that and by the way, the power to the data centers, the highest cost for data center is the power. How much power, the power cost of power. And 70% of the cost of a data center business, running a data center business, is the power, the cost of power. So that's that's why we need to focus on 100% renewable power, because data centers are power guzzlers, and which means there is a lot of opportunity, not only in the data center business, but in the ecosystem around the data center business, whether you're supplying power, you're supplying equipment, hardware, software, whether you're being part of the infrastructure around the data center business, whether it's, building buildings, providing water, providing generators, providing backup systems. So there is multiple aspects in the ecosystem in which data centers are going to be created or located in. So there is a lot of opportunity for businesses, for entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, to come up with an idea. We are always looking for ideas which is going to make the data center more efficient, more renewable, environmental friendly, and more productive as a business. So any ideas and that people may have, they can share, and we can talk through it.
Wonderful. I think Pankaj, you also gave us a new insight to us that rightly you briefly mentioned about what exactly is the need of your industry vertical. And Pavan also touched upon that. I think one of the communication, again, the missing part from the ecosystem is the innovators actually doesn't know what is the need and what the market is going to be created. And many often they design a solution and then try to counterfeit with the industry, maybe CSR other channel. And if you can pull in some kind of new vertical challenges like you mentioned, I think many people who have the skill and competency will try to jump in and solve something. So we'll take this lead from this conversation and we'll create a bank of such kind of challenges from industries who want to have a serious investment in these areas and then try to seduce entrepreneurs and innovators if they want to plunge in, because then they know that there is an industry who is going to have a serious game in play, and then the people who are innovators who have something to offer, they can come and this could be a good marriage to start with. One question that I can see from the chat box is the CSR startups, again, probably Nitin will like to address one by. When they look for CSR, they believe generally kind of social enterprise or a grant project or something like that. Can for-profit startups also look for the CSR as an alternative avenue?
Yeah, Hiranmay. Actually, our fourth and very important sector that we are taking for startup support, that is social business. What we see actually the social enterprise having mean to do a revenue model or business, we definitely welcome such ideas. Only thing that in social business, people are saying that we are not doing business for profit. But when say a startup or a business, it should be have a profit. So such models definitely we can take up. One student from IRMA, she is now our incubator, our partner in center. She wished to have a sanitary pad on the wheels, like for sleeper coach. There is not a facility of sanitary pad when the 6-hour journey are there, the women are facing problems. So this is a good idea. I mean, there is look after. So we are taking such ideas. So we are trying, with the Red Bus and for the initial dialogue. So this is a kind of social aspect, social business we say, and every business has a profit. But the thing is, reaching to the last mile. If the objective is clear, and the profit gain is there, definitely we accept such idea and innovation in our center. Yeah, Hiran.
Wonderful. Pawan bhai, any comments from you?
As Nitin bhai mentioned, all ideas actually, all enterprises, whether social or otherwise, have to be for profit in order to be sustainable. I'm involved with a lot of social enterprises as well, and because otherwise, it's an endless, bottomless pit, right? You cannot, continue to fund a bottomless pit. So at the end of the day, yes, the profit motive and the impact motive both have to play a role. So it's may not be a pure 100% for-profit initiative, but certainly that motive has to be there for it to be interesting and for it to be sustainable as well. So I think, that has to be.
Wonderful. In fact, for all other people who have not met Pawan bhai before, he's a firm believer of technology and design as a lever for solving social innovation. He's a passionate enabler of social enterprises also. So if some of you are in social enterprise space, anything related to education, logistics, e-commerce, environment, or allied area, you must follow him on Twitter or keep pinging him, and he's a right person for guiding. And here's a wider network like Pankaj ji and Pawan bhai. If you have access to their mobile call list or contact list, that itself is a huge capital to access. And sometimes I say to entrepreneurs that sometimes this kind of social capital is much more important than financial capital. If Pawan bhai refers to a startup, I remember one startup who was trying to recycle waste and used to make bricks. And one day, Pawan bhai, I sent him to your office and he met your people who are into real estate and others. And he got a pilot there actually. He got an opportunity to work with them. So sometimes this kind of linkages and leveraging social capital really makes sense. And the same thing which Pankaj ji has done in Adani Group, is an iconic example. And yesterday only we sent a report to government how corporates and industries are trying to kind of help startups. And one of the single line feedback which Gujarat government gave is, can we do it 100x? Can we do it more meaningful? Can we do it more win-win? It should not be only one-sided game. Can we have more people like you all to get it going? And whatever is needed in terms of public policy intervention, in terms of creating platforms, that is something we need to do. And very soon, we as an enabling organization from government will have to do something else.